chaotic Terry Foster. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, 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 I gotta go over the top because T-Foss is back here in the building. He says that I don't. My name is Neal Ruhl, that guy, DMac, Darren, McCarty. It is Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Sam Flannel, the newlywed, Spencer Raxter here, and as we said, T-Foss is back. Was that juicy enough on the intro or not?
That was juicy enough, but you do that when I'm sitting in this chair. You don't do that when I'm sitting up there where DMac is sitting now.
I'll do it next time you're sitting up here. I'll do it again, T-Foss. I'll keep receipts. I know you keep receipts. I'll keep receipts as well. Speaking of keeping receipts, been keeping a lot of receipts about this TJ Hockenson trade stuff. We're certainly going to get into that. Alex Nedeljkovic, you didn't escape. All right, we're going to get to that today. I'm circling back, and I'm getting to that. But we have all that stuff, the NFL trade deadline, lots of stuff going on. DMac's 5 for Fighting has 5 NHL questions for us. We will get to those as well. The college football playoff was announced as far as the rankings, the first installment of that.
Playoffs?
I have some thoughts. We'll discuss. We'll get into it.
I couldn't sleep last night because I was curious what you had to say about Michigan being fifth.
I think that the committee actually. Are you on the committee? Because that committee voted. The committee put the rankings out more of what you were saying about with the resume. They took it into account.
Except for TCU, like everything that applied to everybody magically doesn't apply to TCU.
Yeah, but it never does.
Right, because
if Neal was on the committee, Michigan would be 11th.
No, they would not.
No, but he did predict they would be out of the top 4. And his predictions of what the top 4 would be, he didn't think Michigan's strength of schedule.
Yeah, and look, the whole thing's like a moving goalpost because as you listen to these guys talk on the television, one thing that they use for one team they ranked, then they go against that for the teams that they didn't rank in the top 4. Like, I mean, it's a whole moving comparison. We'll get into all that because I do have a lot of issues with the thing as a whole. You know, like when the chairman of energy companies are on the committee, because that happens. That's a fact.
That hasn't changed since last year.
Yeah,
I remember doing those shows.
That hasn't changed, but we'll get into this. Certainly a lot of TJ Hockenson discussion as well. But I did want to touch on this because as we sit, and I'm sure you guys do this a lot too, as we sit here right now, my wife very badly wants to go to the holiday nights at Greenfield Village. Okay? I'm like, whatever. Okay.
Neal, you're not going to like it.
We'll get into that in a second. This is a good lesson for Sam Flannel, the newlywed.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that, like, I was doing a million other things getting ready here as you were on your diatribe and standing on top of your hill looking down at the people. It's not as if it was Sam Flannel saying, I don't understand. Why do I have to do this? But you have to do this. And saying that, you're on a waiting list, right?
I am.
Now, is it any waiting list or is
no.
the biggest waiting list you've ever been on?
This is out of control. And there's a bunch of things I want to unpack. And basically, I'm coming to the people here. I'm coming to my friends and Terry Foster and DMac and Sam Flannel and Spencer Raxter. You guys are my friends. I come to you guys. Not because... And look, T-Foss says you're not going to like it. Chances are I won't.
I've been there.
You've been there.
Been there.
And we'll discuss that.
It's cold.
And I don't like that right off the
walk.
I'm all right with the walking. I don't like that, right? Is alcohol available? It's got to be.
Yeah, but you got to find it.
Okay.
It's very
I'll
rare.
find it. I'll find it. Don't
rare.
worry.
That's not a problem.
We'll get there. So I come to you guys for help with this. Yes, I probably won't want to do this. That's fine. Yes, I'm sitting in a virtual waiting room right now with 1,803 people in front of me.
Oh, come on. No.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. I know. That's exactly how I feel.
Oh, Neal, I'm sorry. There's no booze. I forgot. Sorry. They got something called bitter beer, but it's not real beer.
Oh, hell no.
It's a kid's
Shooters
drink.
in the socks.
We'll make do. But anyway, though, just bringing this all back to the rails here. I'm not interested in this, but my wife is. And DMac, I've come to you guys, and look, you dropped the hammer right away. You're the minister of accountability. It's what you do. You said, Neal, you didn't even have time for me to complain about it. You go, Neal, you know you got to do this. You're married. You know you got to do this. And then you turned your back and you walked away. But DMac, what I wanted from you, what I want from you, and what I want from you is I want confirmation. I want you not to say, you got to do this and turn your back. I want you to say, yes, you don't want to do this.
It's part of your I do, bro. You know that it is. And you know what? You do this, embrace the suck. This is what, and I always say, embrace the suck. To you, this is sucky, a sucky action, or so to speak. To your wife, it is the end-all, be-all because she's in the Christmas theme. So you have to suck it up and embrace it and go do it.
Yeah.
And figure out your way. You'll figure out your way, whether it's you're
I
going to
always
sock
do.
some shooters,
Yeah.
or maybe you're going to bring the stadium buddy, you know, like
But my questions that come of this, T-Foss, and you've been, why are there 2,000 people in line, in a virtual line for tickets to this thing?
Because of women. Women love this thing. And what they got schmucks like you. None of the women are online waiting for this. They got their husbands and boyfriends to do this.
Shouldn't you feel more connected?
You need to
because
negotiate,
there's 2,000
brother.
other people just like you, right? Are doing the same thing right now, but they're embracing the suck, and it's part of that I do, Sam. It's part of the I do. It's in there. It's in the small print.
So
Just trust
Sam
me.
Flannel, even me, who's been married a while now, what I come to everybody looking for is I want that confirmation. I want you guys to look me in the eye and say, Neal, I agree. I know it sucks. But damn it, this is what we have to do. It's a couple hours and you move on. But I do know it sucks. I know. I want empathy. I want empathy from you guys.
I love you. I feel sorry for you. But too bad. You got to do this. But you need to negotiate. Here's what there's a place I like to go to that's right outside of Greenfield Village called Ford's Garage. Tell Mama, let's go there, have a couple bourbons, and then you go home.
Or you go before. Or is that
go
you get a proper frame of mind, if you will.
See, Neal, I can offer you this. And Sam, please listen. If you want to be like these two fine gentlemen, right? And continue your matrimony of your first shot and into the abyss, and everything's going to be, you're going to have to embrace this stuff. If you want to ignore things like this, then you can be married 3 times like DMac, who doesn't figure it out until the 3rd time. So there's a choice. There's always a choice. Neal, acting like he doesn't have a choice, knows he has a choice, and this is just good business. Good business to show up.
I don't see, and I see that in the chat thread. And somebody at woodwardsports.com chat thread, you can jump in and get involved in there as well. Saying, Neal, you have choices. You can choose not to go, but you choose consequences when you choose that. And that is fair, which means you don't have a choice.
You got to go.
Like, let's stop with that narrative about, well, you have a choice. No, you don't.
No, you really don't.
You don't.
And here's the thing that sucks about it. When I went, the lights were cute and everything, and they had little characters and all that kind of crap. The thing that I liked best was they let you sometimes inside these old shack houses. This woman was making the best looking fried chicken I ever saw. And she was doing it on an open fire in a black skillet, and it was crackling.
Legitimate.
Right. So I'm like, damn, this is good. I said, can I have a piece? She said, nah, we can't let. I said, well, this is the best part about the whole lights thing was this fried chicken.
So be
all I want is
to get food that you want to eat, and just thinking about that. The way they
and
cook
you know
it
what?
too
And
is-
to add insult to injury, she said, well, I said, who's going to eat it? She said, probably nobody. I'm like, well, damn. Really?
Yeah. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Juices Ghost. We're all in the same boat, Neal. It's a part of life. Thank you, Juices Ghost. That's empathy right there. What about this? I want you to address this because we didn't get a chance to talk with T-Foss about this. Pistons fan 11. T-Foss over here talking about schmucks when he was out to dinner with the wife during the Michigan State game. Your response, T?
I am a schmuck. And she got me a TV that I had to look over my shoulder to see. But, I mean, part of this is my fault. Because we got a lot of little friends and little couples, and I like them. So I've said, let's go out on double dates and stuff. And that was like a year ago. So nothing happens. She says, "Oh, we're going out with your friend," and they're not my friends; they're her friends. I said I wanted to do a couples date. I guess my wife doesn't like going out, so she picks the Michigan State night to go out. So I'm like, "Girl, really?" And she says, "Yeah, but I made sure there's a TV for you." And there was a TV that was at a bad angle. I had to look through people to see the game, and I had to look over my shoulder to see what was going on. That's not at the sports bar with the TV right in front of you, and you saying, "Oh, damn, look at this." She screwed me.
Well,
you know what,
it
Neal,
is what it is.
At the end of the day, you're just looking for a little bit of empathy.
That's it.
But I see it in here. I think Nick Burke says it the best but does your doghouse have 2 furnaces? Because then that may change, just depending how warm that doghouse is.
Right. Chuck Brewer says, you have a choice, Neal. You can be single. Yeah, but Chuck, then I got to change bank accounts and credit cards and cell phone bills. No one wants to do that. I'd rather just sit here and look
give
for some
up half
empathy.
your wealth.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Absolutely. So, I don't do, again, everyone keeps saying that. You have a choice. You don't have a choice.
You're in too deep. In too deep. Just enjoy it. Try to find out. What I would like to know is after this endeavor is how you made it better than you thought it would be. Because that's the goal, is to look for the bright spot and try to make it positive.
We're taking the kids and all that stuff, so it can't be too late, right? So at some point, I'll get back to the house.
And
right.
Neal, you told us, this is coming from a single man over here, about banking these points. This is something you bank, and then when you want to go on the golf trip or something.
But I empty my bank far too often for anything.
That's another lesson about how long it takes you to store. It's like squirrels.
Here's the good
nut
thing
at a time, and you know what? To spend that chest full of brownie points that you've earned, boom.
It all happens
like
that. It's going to be cold. Walk fast, and you can get through it quicker.
All right.
So everybody's going to be miserable.
Hey, but you know what you got going for you, though? You got a teenage son. He's going to be as miserable as you. No, seriously, though. So maybe you just go, get him going a little bit to take the heat off you.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point.
I'm just saying, is it coming at that age, right?
No, I do. I like it. I like where you guys' heads are at. I appreciate it. I'm thankful for it.
We're here for you, bud.
I know. And I got what I was looking for.
Sam, did you learn anything?
I learned a thing or two. But from my perspective, let me just add this perspective. Sometimes finding out activities to take my now wife or everybody's now wife on a date, it's hard. And one of the things that women like is when you come to them with definite plans and you show them a good time. Some Saturdays,
look at the newlywed over here, Terry.
Hey, whoa! You're gonna bring up, and she's gonna say, "I don't want to do it." No matter what it is,
it's so cute. The newlywed.
I don't want to do it.
But it's what they don't want is for you to just kind of dilly-dally and say I don't know what I want to do. If you show them a good time, even if it's something you don't like. And this one is kind of built in. That Greenfield Village is already built in. So I would just say this is easy. I don't have to plan it. I just have to. I know you're in line, and that's kind of tedious, but you just got to sit there. It's going to be fine, Neal. But maybe I'm just kind of too new at this. I
you know what, Flannel Sam? You know what you are? You're cute. You're adorable.
I figured that was coming.
It doesn't work that way, man.
I figued that was
Paul Thomas has spoken like a guy who hasn't lived it.
Well, and I'm sure I've only been married for less than 2 weeks, so we'll see.
We'll check back to you when we got 365 days of flannel.
There you
see
go.
where you're at.
Maybe I'll tell her instead of going to the Greenfield Village holiday nights, how about we go to Big Boy instead for burgers and loaded fries?
No, she's gonna say no.
Yeah, no, well, I'll say yes because it's only for a limited time at Big Boy. It's not just a Slim Jim. It's the Big Jim. The chili cheese. That's a tease. Guess what else is new? It's bacon blue. Upgrade the fries. Come on, chili cheese fries.
Delicious.
Baked potato fries. Nacho fries. Those are the bangers of the group, by the way. I know from experience. Satisfy your taste buds at Big Boy.
Burgers and fries.
Woodward Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club. Get all the best deals. They beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. Don't forget to pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, Swedish Beauty Lotions, Mr. Spencer Raxter.
Oh, yeah.
ChiliPeppersTanning.com, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. 27 locations, more on the way. It's Chili Peppers Tanning, everybody.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Yo, 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 back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, DMac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, Squad Deep up in here. Jan, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Neal, she let you do your thing, so go do hers. I am. I'm doing it. I'm just complaining about it first. And no point
there
today.
It is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
No, it's not the fact that it's already done.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I just want some empathy.
I want empathy.
Give me a hug over here.
That's all I want. I'm at least being honest about that. I'm not like coding it or low-keying it. I'm just coming out and telling you. Jen, I'm going to go do it. I don't have a choice. I just want empathy for it. That's all I'm doing. Pistons fan 11, laughing at Sam, says, LMAO, the wife killer. I think OJ has that tagline copyright.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Glove didn't fit.
Yeah, allegedly. So, you know. But yeah, clam sauce. Don't do it, Neal. Just say no. No, okay. Anyway, though, TJ Hockenson, the trade, the dust has kind of settled on that right now. And if you guys will allow me for a second here, I'm stunned, I'm shocked, I'm disgusted by a lot of the reaction that I've seen from Detroit Lions fans on social media channels, in and around town, throughout sports media, all of it. I didn't know the Lions traded Shannon Sharpe or Tony Gonzalez. I wasn't aware of that. Because, guys, Brad Holmes got you a couple of pick swaps, and you don't have to pay the guy anymore. You don't have to pay a mid-tight end $9.5 million next year. You don't have to pay a mid-tight end $13 million a year in his free agency deal. You don't have to do that anymore. Just like that overnight. And I hear people with the talking points, right? It's like they have their index card talking points to where, well, this organization stinks, and why did you... That's not Brad Holmes' fault. He's here to clean it up. He's cleaning it up. And now all of a sudden, in typical Detroit sports fashion, everybody... This reminds me, Terry, of the Lindsey Hunter and Terry Mills for Shaq era. Like all of a sudden, TJ Hockenson is Tony Gonzalez or something like that.
Right. I didn't understand why people were so upset about this. Now there's another narrative. Since the trade, Brad Holmes can't draft now. So he's not going to be able to get players to replace him.
Yeah, and that's my other favorite thing about this. How much more data do you need? And you want to ignore data with Brad Holmes, Spence. I have some data. How about we do a player reveal? How about that? I have some data on everybody's hero, TJ Hockenson. Player A, 67 catches, 723 yards, 6 touchdowns. Player B, 72 catches, 670 yards, 6 touchdowns. Player A is TJ Hawkinson's best year in 2020. Player B is Logan Thomas when Taylor Heineke was his quarterback. That's his best year. Enough with this about TJ Hockenson. Brad Holmes turned water into wine with this. The cap relief, a couple of pick swaps. You have 6 of the first 65 picks as it sits right now. Stop with this. Stop. He's an elite run blocker. No, he's not.
Right.
Stop it.
We've seen it play out. How much more data do you need? Goodbye. What's everybody sit here and complain about? Get players in here that can play. Then he ships off a mid-player, and everyone loses their mind. My favorite is, he could have got more. Brad Holmes could have got... This was the absolute maximum that he could do. The absolute max. And I'm not having it, and I'm not upset.
Can I ask Terry, yesterday before this went down, we were having this conversation, if you traded Hockenson, what would you get? And the consensus was maybe a 5th rounder. Did you think that what they got for this was a positive move for this organization for where they're at? And you can't hold, to Neal's point, is that if we're moving forward, what this just tells me is what Sheila just came out and said. It's almost like when I talk about Steve Eisman. When he talks, listen to what he says. When Sheila said this was a tear down and a rebuild, the coach and the GM have 6 years and 5 years. Well, guys, I'm under the reality that I realize that this clock that we set up for a 2-year span, yeah, we can give our opinion on it, but it doesn't mean anything to what game plan is going on there. To me, you can be upset a little bit. Like I asked you coming in here, well, what's the deal? Why are people upset with not keeping them because you had them under the control? Because you're always preaching about the rookie contract and stuff like this, but then when you dig deeper and say your compensation only goes towards if he signs an elite contract moving forward, but the fact that he saved $9.5 million from next year and then $13.5 or whatever it is in the next 2 years to be able to go, what I look at it as Brad Holmes pretty much said is that, okay, we need this money for our defense, for our free agency, because we aren't able to pick up free agents. So again, it's just the process. And I guess, Terry, my question to you, is this process now moving forward with what they got back, is their game plan in place? Is it apparent to you, or was this just a bad deal?
It's clearly apparent to me, because what the Lions could have done was do nothing and then try to hoodwink us by saying, well, we're still in it and we're trying to salvage the season. No, you know what they said? Season's done. We're baked.
Because it is, and they are.
Right? So we may as well get some assets for the future. May as well save money on the cap. See, I do like money.
Do you?
Yes.
When did you change, Terry?
It's whenever. But, so they're not pulling the wool over our eyes because we always buy for their BS. This time they say, hey, you know what? Not going anywhere. Season's done. Let's trade some assets.
Is this BS though? More. Are we buying a different? Is this same old Lions differently?
No.
Like, are we buying? Are we?
No.
Are they selling us something, or is this the truth?
They wouldn't have done anything and said, hey guys, we're still in it. We're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, so let's fight for that playoff spot. That's what the old Lions would have done.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Rich Diana, WWE Neal. No, Rich, that's other people in this town that we've seen kind of go through their index talking points and do their takes and all that kind of stuff. I've held true with this. I'm maybe the only one around here that's held true the whole time through. Everybody just kind of moves goalposts and change their opinions and stuff like that. It's apparent. And my line of thinking into last year, who opened up my eyes to this, is the guy who self-proclaimed says, I never really thought about cap and stuff like that a lot, sits to my left with DMac. And he kind of painted the picture with my mind of Yzerman's board in his office with the 2023 team, the 2024 team, the cap space. Who do we have? How much is left on the contract? You see the roadmap, guys. I am legit pissed, though, about the people that are going to cry about TJ Hockenson being gone. This is what you guys wanted. This is what you wanted. You say, oh, we stink. Okay, we'll get the guys out of here that are mid. Why are they trading them? No. And then the other thing is, like, the other people instantly, and I heard this a lot around town too. Well, if you're trading Hockenson, then why not DeAndre Swift? Why not Taylor Decker? Because their lot in life is not the same right now. DeAndre Swift, a $2 million player with another year on his deal. Taylor Decker, you have for a couple more seasons, locked and loaded. Do we agree he's a good player?
Yeah.
Yes, everybody agrees he's a good player. So, yes, you don't have to pay him in free agency coming up down the road. You don't have to give him a rookie option next season. And he's not mid. Like, TJ Hockenson is mid. He's Logan Thomas. At his best, he's Logan Thomas. That's not my opinion. I just gave you guys the numbers. Because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not true. And I know everybody likes the hawk and the hair and all that kind of stuff. I'm not into it. You know what I'm into? I'm into the people that say, well, Brad Holmes, he didn't go get anybody in free agency after this year. With what? They have $3 million in cap space right now. With what? You know, now that they shipped off Hockenson, they have $25 million in cap space. They can turn that into $50+ million with a couple of moves. Michael Brockers being one, which we will see.
That's going to happen for sure.
You see how this works, guys. You see how it works. And you're going to have this with 6 of the first 65 picks in the draft, with Aiden Hutchinson under contract, with Jamison Williams under contract, with all these draft picks that you have. Penei Sewell, gold jacket loading offensive. They're all under contract. 2024, all these draft picks will be under contract. Your whole offensive line are under contract. $30 million committed towards a quarterback already. That, by the way, doesn't have to be Jared Goff, with $115 million in cap space. So if you can't see that, then I can't help you. I'm done for a minute.
It's a good day. It is a good day. People will realize it at some point. You know, the problem in this town, you have so many people who still believe, no matter how dark it is for the Lions, that some way, somehow, they're going to crawl out of this and salvage the season. So they don't want to get rid of TJ Hockenson. They don't want to get rid of anybody because, hell, the Lions are 1-6. That means they can finish 11-6. That's their mentality. Now, it's flawed, but that's why they're pissed.
That's what I saw yesterday. I saw Kerryon Johnson on Twitter, former Lions legend Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess they're just giving up. Yeah! They're giving up. They're 1-6. They have the worst defense in the history of the NFL.
Yeah. They were tired of drafting people like you.
Yeah. Bad teams trade off players at the deadline. Good teams acquire them. We're a bad team. That's what we do. Like, you played football. You played in the NFL. You should know this. That's what happens. Yeah, they're just giving up because the season's over.
It's what it is.
Well,
right?
But it gets me. So we've relegated the fact that here at Big D Energy that we want the tanks in the street, give you more options, keep that first overall pick, like you said, with 5 of the first 65. But the thing is, to Terry's point, it is doing it differently, and Brad Holmes is doing it differently. And yes, for everything that we say dysfunctional on the field as far as talent or coaching and stuff like this, behind the scenes, here's the thing. The game plan that Holmes had maybe is contingency number 2 or 3, but they're sticking with it. And the ownership is with them lockstep. They're telling you that. So this isn't going to change anytime soon. What I'm excited about, Neal, is that what you said, is that going into next year, right, that he better make a splash in free agency or something you would expect him to do because he's getting the money. It's sort of like where the Lions are behind where the Red Wings are. And you cannot not look at the tool chest. You can't look at the draft capital and the salary cap and the coaching, and you can't not put it all together. It's a recipe. It's a whole thing, right? So the best thing is if they continue to lose.
It is.
And without their saying what you want about Hockenson, Yeah, he would. What should tell you about your team? This is what should tell you. If he's one of your best players and he's a mid player, your team sucks.
It's the main ingredients. It's like a ham and Swiss sandwich. There's ham, there's Swiss. That's it.
But we're not talking about ham and Swiss, unfortunately, although I would like to. We're talking about Swiss Insurance Group. Swiss Insurance Group and their employees are heavily involved in their community. It is very rewarding but comes with great responsibility. If you sit on a local youth sports board, homeowners association, or a volunteer coach, directors and officers insurance is a must. Make sure the kids, parents, and volunteers are protected. Call Swiss Insurance today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, DMac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter here with you. WoodwardSports.com chat thread talking TJ Hockenson. I'm fired up about it, man, because the guy does what you say you want, and then you say, how can you get rid of him? To a division rival. That's my other favorite thing. We'll talk about that. This whole trading with the division rival thing. You know, I feel those are people, like when my son says "Okay, Boomer" to me. Like that's kind of how I feel about that.
Does it not seem to anybody else, right? To the fact that, yeah, I thought Jameson Williams would be drafted and he'd probably be playing by now. Josh Pascal, these guys that we drafted, but clearly, I'm seeing it like Terry is that they're playing him for 2023 and 2024. This was always the plan ahead. If they won now, and I think that they got fooled coming out of Hard Knocks, right? They got too amped up, and they thought they had more than what they did. But the reality of it in the draft, this is the trajectory it went on. You know, you can't dismiss the fact of, are they planning ahead and doing what the new different ways to do it we always talk about. There's the Rams way, which looks like Minnesota's doing it, and mortgage your future, right? But there's also, too, get the wide receiver with the quarterback. Your guy, too.
Yeah, Cincinnati's doing it away.
This, right? Yeah. You know what? There's
the
another
Bears
way
are
to do
doing
it.
it
So,
away.
in my mind, the question to Brad Holmes is this playing into it, which means Bryce Young would be to match him up with James Williams? Would that be who's on their radar moving forward? Some of this has to be a contingency plan that they've talked about, the way that it's executed through. Does it not?
Absolutely,
I mean,
man.
So again, you might not like the plan, but again, at least they have one. Because we haven't had one in the past.
Which is an upgrade. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Michael James Fawcett. Can you please punch Neal in the face for speaking about a top 10 tight end in the league like that? Okay, right here, right now, Mike. You paying TJ Hockenson $13 million a year to be mid? You pay, or let me walk that back. You paying Logan Thomas $13 million a year? I'm not. That's what the data proves. His best year was Logan Thomas's year. Like, come on. How do we not see this, guys? How? I'm handing it to you.
And baby boy, what happens is we overvalue athletes.
Why? Why do we do that, Terry? You've been around here a long time. Why?
How do you overvalue
cannot figure that out.
Guys that don't win? How do you overvalue guys that don't win?
You got me on that one. But that's what we do in this town. Not me, because I'm smarter, but that's what happens. Hockenson just went from meh to one of the best tight ends in the NFL. But you know what? I want to prepare you for this. Hockenson with Minnesota is going to come into Ford Field or against the Lions, going to have an 8-catch game for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, guaranteed.
Terry, you know he's only had 100 more yards twice in his career. Again?
Yeah, how many times did he play against the Lions?
That's fair.
Thank you.
And you know what the thing is, right? It's irrelevant. Because if he comes in and does that, it doesn't matter if it's a division opponent or anything like that. If he because you weren't able to get it out of him here. Your coaching wasn't able to get out of it. He needed to change the scenery. And to me, right, so Minnesota might know how to use him a little better. And Terry, that doesn't shock me. Look what he's got to work with. He's got Adam Thielen. He's got Jamar Jefferson. Mm-hmm. Probably will the way that it usually will.
No, he will not be the focus in Minnesota. Here, what we said is Hockenson, I mean, he's the number one target for Jared Goff if he gets in trouble. They're not going to say that in Minnesota.
Right, and this is the other thing, too. For all those people, the conspiracy theorists and all that, he's going to go light it up. Kirk Cousins is bottom third in the league at throwing the ball to the tight end. Sam Flannel. Weigh in here, brother. We were talking about this before the show. All these great tight ends that Minnesota has produced. Go down the list, Sam Flannel.
I mean, Irv Smith Jr. was a guy who was also drafted very high, and he hasn't done anything in the league playing with Kirk Cousins. Kyle Rudolph's stats went down once Kirk Cousins came on the team.
Massively down.
They just did. Look at the numbers. And also, TJ Hockenson, he has played 47 games with the Detroit Lions. 47. In Brandon Pettigrew's first 47 games with the Detroit Lions, Brandon Pettigrew had more receptions, the exact same amount of yards, and 3 less touchdowns. It's just, those are just the numbers. And when we talk about Brandon Pettigrew, it's like, oh my God, how'd you draft a tight end in the first round? He's a cautionary tale. And now with TJ Hockenson, it's like, we want to keep him on the team. Why are you trading him? Acting like he's Kelsey or Kittle or Mark Andrews or prime Rob Gronkowski or even Kyle Pitts. He's not any of those guys. And the Lions never won anything with TJ Hockenson on the team. It's not Hawk's fault per se, but he didn't rise above. He's not elite. The Lions aren't even going to miss him. They're not even going to miss him this year. Were they really even going to be better this year with him on it? The discourse surrounding TJ Hockenson has honestly been some of the most dishonest, shameful-ish I've ever heard. I'm not kidding. Seriously, Neal, I'm sure you agree. You've been talking about it all day.
No, and our guy Mike in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Hawk's not a Lion anymore. I've already moved on. And Mike, like, look, that's how I am too. That's how I was with Stafford. That's how I was with Grant Hill. I've been consistent about that. I've moved on, except for Sergei Fedorov. I did cry about that one, I'm not going to lie. But that was the only one.
You're allowed one.
I'm allowed one. And I had an emotional attachment to that man. But anyway, moving on. That's how I am too. But this crying about, TJ Hockenson and look, guys, you flip 2 4th round, maybe a 4th and a 5th round pick into a 2nd and a 3rd, and you don't got to pay the man. If you can't see that and you don't think that's good, then I can't help you. Sam, I can give you numbers about how he's Logan Thomas. Sam Flannel can give you numbers about how he's Brandon Pettigrew. That remains facts. And we're talking about this for 3 more minutes, and then I'm done talking about TJ Hockenson. I am, forever, because it doesn't matter. And even if he pops off and has 7 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown, I do not care, because I'm not paying him. My team's not paying him $13 million a year.
When did the Minnesota Lion T-shirts come out?
I'm waiting for them.
Right.
Do you get a credit? I'll ask you guys this, because there's some of you out there, your Detroit Rams shirts. Do you get a credit if you trade that one in for a Detroit Vikings T-shirt? Do you think they do?
Only if you took the insurance on NFL.com. For jersey trades or whatever you were telling me about yesterday.
WoodwardSports.com chat poll right now, Spence. Will you rock a Minnesota Lions T-shirt?
No, don't put that up, because that's going to be 0%.
Somebody will say yes. No, it can't be 0, because I've been told right here, you're going to rue the day that TJ Hockenson was traded.
Doesn't mean you're going to buy a T-shirt, though.
Yes, it does. I would have said there'll be 0 chance of anyone wearing a Detroit Rams T-shirt.
Yeah, that was
stupid.
But
no, because you can explain that because people have a 10-year history with the person himself.
But what? Got almost 5 years in with Hawk. Greatest tight end in the history of the Lions. Somebody said that. Greatest tight end I've ever seen play for the Lions.
He's after only Charlie Sanders. That's it.
Joe Foria is better.
I would say Derek Tennell was better. He covered an onside kick in '91 against Minnesota that got him the win.
God bless him.
Scheffler was a better dancer.
He was a better dancer. Would you rock a Minnesota Lions t-shirt, T-Foss?
Yes. Just because I know it would anger you. That's the only reason I'd wear it.
You guys like how this works here? I come to my friends, my coworkers, for empathy in the beginning of the show. And then 40 minutes later, I get, yes, I'll wear one just because it would anger you. I would wear a Minnesota Lions t-shirt because it would anger you.
I'm not a good guy. I'm telling you that. Yeah, I'd wear one just to piss you off.
Yeah.
Well, technically, that's true, though. Somebody brought up the fact that Minnesota did play a home game at Ford Field.
Maybe there's holdover fans. That's right. Maybe that is. Andrew Klingerman. We're acting like we just traded Calvin Johnson. I don't understand it, Andrew. I don't. And the return was great. Galloping Lake 6, his fifth-year option was $9.3 million for next year. Yes, I've covered that many times. And then after that, 13, I think Spotrac has him 13 to 14 million a year valuation. Not interested for a mid-tight end. What do you got, Sam Flannel?
Speaking of past Detroit Lions tight ends, I just did a little bit of digging. TJ Hockenson will have gone to the exact same amount of Pro Bowls as a Lion as former Detroit Lion tight end David Sloan.
I forgot about that.
Hey, do you guys want to pay would you guys cry over David Sloan? Would you want to pay him $14 million a year?
And you know what his nickname was?
What was his nickname?
Hands of Sloan.
Hey.
Or Hands of Stone, wherever you want to go with that.
But he made the exact same amount of Pro Bowls as a Lion as TJ Hockenson. I'm not saying he's as good as TJ Hockenson, but when you put those numbers side by side, it kind of proves to you that TJ Hockenson, he's not elite. He's not Kittle. He's not Kelsey. He's not Mark Andrews. He's not even Dallas Goedert. Come on, guys.
Was TJ Hockenson a better tight end than his head coach?
Yes.
Is he a better head coach than his head coach?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
He was a better tight end than his head coach, and he'd probably be a better head coach than his head coach.
That's probably true.
Yeah. So, there you have that. Galloping Lake 6, I forgot about David Sloan. He was good. Pro Bowler.
Same amount of Pro Bowls as TJ Hockenson.
Yep, there you go. And he wasn't like the 100th alternate like TJ Hockenson was.
Hey, and that's true, but the discourse around David Sloan, I'm sure, wasn't the same as it would be around TJ Hockenson. TJ Hockenson is talked about as like, it's this terrible, terrible loss. And I never heard David Sloan talked about in that high of a regard. Just a little perspective. That's all I'm giving you guys. Come on.
Patty Grimes said Neal will wear one. Yeah, because you can tell I'm really broken up about the Hockenson era. Spenny closed out the WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Would you rock a Minnesota Lions t-shirt? 3% of you said yes. So
I knew it'd be close to zero.
There would be some. Louis Bishop, last word on this. Louis Bishop says Lions fans wonder why they get away with sucking. Probably because you have no idea what winning moves are. Bye Hawk. You gotta break eggs to make an omelet, man.
That's a great truth there. That's truth. How would we know what a winning move is?
Right.
We've never seen a winner. But speaking of coaches, you know what I got? I got free tickets. But you got to do something for me, man. You want to win front row tickets to Sunday's game, Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. Trust me, you can do it. But I need you to record a video doing your best Dan Campbell impression. Post it on Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag Woodward Front Row. Make sure you're following Woodward Sports. And I swear to God, I swear to you, you're going to think I'm a lunatic, which I am. We will select 3 winners, give you 2 tickets each. We're going to select on Friday. Yes. So if you want those tickets, get those impersonations, man, in now. Tell them, Woodward Sports, we sent you.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Neal Ruhl here for Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym that's always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. Tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes with the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. All this just $10 a month for access to your home club. Join today in club. You'll pass a couple on the way home. Pick which one works best for you. Pull up on them, as our good guy Joik Bell used to say. Sign up there. Go to planetfitness.com if you're feeling really motivated. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Well, your fitness is essential.
Yay! Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Galloping Lake, woodwardsports.com chat thread. I haven't heard you discuss a $5.9 million dead cap space hit for trading Hockenson. Yeah, because the bonuses have been paid already. There's no escape from that. That's the way it works. Welcome back to Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, everybody. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Spenmo Rex, and Sam Flannel, the legend killer. Good to have Sam Flannel back.
Thank you. It's great to be back, honestly. All those takes that were in the chamber for all the 8 days I was gone, it really did mess me up. I wanted to come on the show so bad, and now I'm back, and it's fun. This is fun. What we do.
I'm Salty, woodwardsports.com chat thread. Go ahead and name me one person we have that could cover Hawk. I'll wait. Well, I'm Salty. You have 5 of the first 65 picks in the draft to get somebody.
Jeff Okudah could guard him. Deshaun Elliott could probably guard him, too.
Kirby Joseph is trending that way.
Probably guard him.
Well, nobody could, because I'm told that he's Tony Gonzalez. So there's nobody in the league that can do it.
It's not a flex to say, oh, nobody on the worst defense in the history of the NFL can guard this guy. Like, okay. Yeah. Congratulations.
And because we traded him, we'll have 5 of the first 65 picks to try to fit. Like, what are we doing here?
Looted corpse. Oh, no, not Kirk Cousins. It's TJ Hockenson. Said no one ever. Right? Yeah. I mean, come on.
Oh, my gosh, man. Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
And they're going to continue to do it. You're a little bit gullible. You still have your emotions with this team. Shame on you.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm on the clock, T-Foss.
Yeah, okay.
11-1, man. I punch in.
I understand.
And I'm in. I'm on the clock.
What was the Lions' record with TJ Hockenson?
Not great.
This year, 1-6. Last year, 3-13-1.
Oh, wow.
Previous year, 6-10.
Yeah, previous year, 6-10.
2019, 3-12-1. And I got one more with the chat. I think this one is really funny. This is from Looted Corpse. Oh no, Hawk gonna grab 60 yards on us. That's actually typical of what he did with the Lions. Actually, he would usually get the most impactful 4 catches for 44 yards every game.
Oh yeah, every time.
Even when dude went for 137 yards and a touchdown, we still lost.
Even in his first game where he went off, it was a tie.
Yeah.
It's not TJ Hockenson's fault. It's just proof that he's not going to be here when we're ready to win anyway. It's no big deal.
You don't start a rebuild, which is what the rebuild will be when we draft a quarterback, with a $14 million tight end.
Well, I think you nailed it. Sheila came out. Why did Sheila come out? Terry asked this question. Why is she come out and speaking now? Right? Because this was coming down the pipe at the trade deadline they talked about. Because this is where the teardown, to Spenny's point, the rebuild, their mentality at that table, the ones that hug, the ones that make the pick, that's where they're coming from. So if you don't see their mentality and what they're offering you or throwing out there, we can go because we watch other good teams, and this is what they do, and this is what we should do. This is what they're doing.
She kind of told us this was going to happen.
Tear down, rebuild. We're not even back to the rebuild yet in their minds.
Here's what I think. Real quickly, to update for tomorrow's show, we will speak to UFC heavyweight Josh Parisian, Michigan native, tomorrow at 12:36.
Big fight this weekend.
Big fight this weekend at the UFC Fight Night event, Saturday night on ESPN. he will be the fight right before the co-main event fight. So it's a big-time showcase.
Ask him about his new contract and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
he's got a new extended long-term UFC fight contract. He'll be facing off against Chase Sherman this weekend in Las Vegas. That'll be available on ESPN on Saturday night. And again, Josh Parisian, Michigan's only UFC heavyweight as well. Day one. We're day ones with Josh Parisian.
I love it.
Yeah, I feel we're partially responsible for his success, DMac, right? When he got up off the mat, when he got taken down, I'm sure he was thinking about being on Big D Energy.
Big D Energy, no matter how many times you can stay down for 9.9, get back
His
up.
corner guy, James David Gray, was like,
oh my God, I couldn't even face Neal if I didn't get up there. Let's go.
Our guy, James David Gray, was like, Josh, get up. You'll never be on Big D Energy again if you don't get up.
That was it. His full motivation. They got Terry there now.
Yeah, they got Terry
there now, bro.
They say if you get up, you could be on the final word or whatever. What's the show after us?
The bottom line?
Yeah, the bottom line.
Yeah.
You could be on that
They'll
show.
do a test connection on on Big D Energy and make sure it's all good for you to be on Ermanni and Edwards and Baz.
If you get up and become a champion, you can be on with Ermanni and Edwards. Yeah.
We'll make it happen. No, Josh is our guy, man, and a really cool dude. And I'm so happy for the guy's success. And I want to tell you a story of his, too, that he talked about after the last fight. It's just, he's as real as it gets, man. He's us. He is. He's us. He's DMac. It's, it's a very, he's not from Detroit originally. He's from a UP, but
Michigan, very Michigan.
Michigan story,
Detroit
man. I love
everybody's Michigan versus everybody to the state and whatever. So.
LF4 says Neal will find a way to take credit, LOL. Absolutely. Absolutely. Easy said the final word, LOL.
That's low-key, like, really funny.
What's the name of the show?
We got to get T-Foss giving a promotion. Check out Braylon and Baz and Ryan on
the final word.
The final word.
It's a pretty good name for a show, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. More talk about TJ Hockenson. According to NFL Power Rankings, Hawkinson's the 8th rated tight end in the NFL this season. The Vikings only had to drop down about 38 spots in the draft to get him. Yes, and they have to pay him. We don't. That's part of it. That's part of the value.
Right.
Like, everyone just looks at one side of everything. Why can't anyone take into account what the actual return, the total return? Why?
That they're not programmed to do that. That's looking deep into stuff.
Lewis Bishop nailed it. Lions fans, we need to save money and spend it on our defense. Also, Lions fans, why'd you trade the tight end? We should have paid him. That's exactly the conversation we're having here.
Yeah, so there it is. Nicholas Duncan, Neal Ruhl versus Jake Paul. What do you guys think?
I don't know if you'll get that one, Neal.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm in.
I'll be there.
I'll come in your corner.
Yeah.
Let me tag you in.
Yeah, I'll have DMac and T-Foss as my corner guys.
There we go.
Maybe I would get on the maybe I would get on the final word.
Hockey fight?
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
You think if I got a fight with Jake Paul, the final word would have me on their show?
Final word to get you. Sure.
I don't know. You think they would or no?
Probably not. It might have to be Canelo or nothing.
Maybe on a Wednesday or something.
Yeah, maybe. They could squeeze you in.
Yeah, only if I had a good Wi-Fi signal. Maybe. But anyway, though, what? So here's the deal with the Lions. Here's how I think it played out. And DMac, you brought this point up, and I'm curious to get Terry's take on this. Here's how I think it played out. Like, people are talking about they're tearing down or rebuilding the tear down or tearing down the rebuild or whatever. I don't think it was that. I think it was just this simple, guys, because sometimes things can be just simple. They looked down the landscape, said, this guy's pretty mid. I'm not interested in giving him $60 million for 4 years or $56 million for 4 years. I think it is just that simple. I think it was a thing where they said, hey, there are moves to be made where we can free up money for free agency next year, and we got a treasure chest of money the following year. And this will put us in position to have 4 of the first 65 draft picks. I think it was that simple. Terry, I don't think it was a big statement on a rebuild or a teardown. It was a move in a vacuum. It was a singular move. Darren, Texas Hold'em poker, what my line I always use from rounders. The second you know your cards can't win,
bold,
you throw the cards in. That's exactly what you do with it. I think that's what it was with TJ Hockenson. He was a pocket pair of 8s with 3 overcards on the board.
Right, but it's also them saying, we're not going anywhere this year. And little sister Ford said, "Hey, we're in a teardown."
Little sister Ford.
Hey, Terry, could it be as simple as, well, what have we done in the past? Let's do something different. Right?
Yeah. Well,
you're talking about Sister
the people
Ford.
making the decisions weren't the buffoons making decisions before.
Oh.
What they did was, okay, what does a real team do now? Not going anywhere. Trade deadlines today. Let's make something happen, because there is no salvaging 2022. So let's try to make 2023 or 2025, 2026 better.
You're telling me what you saw the Lions do is what a real football team does. These last. Okay.
And by the way, guys, this is Terry Foster saying that.
He's only covered more sports and.
No, this is the biggest Lions hater of all time, right? Giving them credit for because you have the ability to think critically,
right? And I don't like them because of what they've done to this fan base.
But
if they make a right move, I'll tell you.
And that's what it was. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Real cream of wheat. So we can spend that money on the next Michael Brockers. You'll see Brockers cut. That'll add 7 to 10 million on your cap. I forget the exact number.
Brockers getting cut for sure.
He'll get cut for sure. And Steve Brown says Rounders was a great movie. Yes, it was. Luda Corp says, imagine Neal with cream of wheat as a sponsor on his shorts.
That'd be dope. Cream of wheat and candy corn.
I'd have the cream of wheat, dude. The face would be on my crotch right there. Cream of wheat. Yeah, that would be cool.
Don't you know Neal's opinion is only based on the bag?
That's true.
Right? So if the bag, obviously cream of wheat and candy corn have not called and stepped up to the table because blasphemy will be out of his mouth. But until then, if that did come up, your tone may be different.
Yeah, when new information presents itself,
you're allowed to change your opinion.
You're allowed to change your opinion. And in this case, information would be the bag or a check with commas. Like that's the way that it would work.
Candy corn and Range Rover and Land Rover. Those are going to be the sponsors.
That would be it right there, man. And I would be we need a bourbon. We need a bourbon on deck too. So once we had all that, we would be good to go. This is a great point by Ethan Brown, by the way. And again, this is the final word on it. We're going to move on. We got to talk about the college football playoff. You guys
said that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know, but the people are dictating. We keep going, so we keep going. This is a great point, Ethan Brown. The Lions throw 10 to 12 balls underneath to St. Brown every game.
Yes.
That dude is so good. There's not much left for Hawk in this offense.
Yes.
And Ethan, credit to you. I didn't even think about it that way. But that's facts.
Right. So you're going to save your money. We can all agree to that. Would you not agree? Right to the point that who is the safety valve or who's the most valuable that you're going to give that money to? So no, that was a great point. You know what else is a great point? Free stuff.
You
know it's free? It's free. It's for Terry. Yes, Big Frog can be free for you too. Get a free Woodward Sports T-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports T-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Stop in, tell them T-Foss sent you. Bang, they'll print you one up right there on the spot. So go to Big Frog in Novi today, get your free T-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Hump Day at Alta Uptime Matters. You hear me say it all along. Alta Equipment, they have everything you need to get the job done. It is fall. It's beautiful out, so you might be outside doing leaves, or you got a bog project, or you need some heavy equipment. Well, Alta Rent, they always have you covered. So give them a call today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, T-Foss, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, our guy Adam Baydoun from the Morning Woodward Show. Neal, you know that since 2019, Austin Hooper, Noah Fant, Mike Gesicki, Evan Ingram, Goddard, Pitts, Higbee have had as many or more 100-yard games than Hockenson.
Top of my head, right? Pitts is the only one drafted higher than Hockenson?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Roughly.
Yep, so there it is. But college football playoff rankings came out yesterday. Yeah. So
thanks, Jim.
Let's get into it. Before we do anything, I got to get the lay of the land. Sam Flannel, Michigan, number 5, the outside looking in. Your thoughts?
No, there's no problem with that, because here's the reality of the situation. If Michigan wins out, they control their destiny. They will make the college football playoff, and not only will they probably make the college football playoff, if they win out, beat Ohio State, get their signature win, they might get the number 1 seed. So Michigan is just fine. They're exactly where they should be. They've played a bit of a soft schedule. So being at 5, all they have to do is be undefeated for the rest of the year, and they'll be in. So at this point, these rankings mean absolutely nothing. I am just fine, because Michigan controls their destiny.
All right, and it was always that. With their and that's where the thing with me, since week 1, nothing's changed with me. With the schedule, the way they had it set up, you beat Ohio State, you're in the playoff. The thing that's really amazing to me is they could get cooked by Ohio State, and they're still going to go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's what happened to Ohio State last year. They lose to Michigan and they go to the Rose Bowl. That's kind of the consolation prize. But if you go into that game either with 1 loss or undefeated, the Rose Bowl is a nice consolation prize. Although now that would be extremely disappointing, because I and all Michigan fans and the Michigan program have national championship aspirations, and I think for now rightfully so.
T-Foss, your reaction?
The committee punished Michigan slightly for having a weak schedule, but it still puts them in position. If Michigan belongs in the Final Four, they will be there. If they've earned their way to the Final Four, they put them in position where they're going to be there, because teams ahead of them are going to have to play each other. They're going to have to play Ohio State, can knock them behind them, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. I mean, people are going to play each other. So at least 2 schools will be knocked down. So Michigan's right there.
You're going to find out, and obviously, you're in a win-win situation when you do this ranking at this time, because you have the top teams, and the Ohio States and Michigan's got to play each other, Tennessee's, the Alabamas, all that different stuff.
You can spin your narratives.
Spin your narrative any way you want. Cream rises to the top. What this told me, though, Neal, remember how we were talking about earlier that Michigan could be a 1-loss team to make it to the playoffs if they kept it close against Ohio State? I think the fact that you have the Tennessees and the TCUs in there, which you're looking at, and more every week you're giving them more respect, because in your eyes it sounds like they're earning it, that I don't think a 1-loss team in the Big Ten will get 2 teams in. So that's the only thing that really changes looking at this narrative to where that is, because Michigan's going to have to come from the outside in to get there, and that means beat Ohio State. You know, more or less, I think I don't know if it was shocking or was it deserved. I could say because it was this first rankings, but Tennessee being number 2. Because here's the one thing, too, I also saw last weekend where I said, I think Alabama's done. I think they're ranked exactly where they should. They're on the way out. But Georgia, you're going to find out this week if Georgia has found that, if Kirby Smart has found that championship pedigree that they fed off of last year. Because they're the one that had the hiccup, but I think they're back on track. Does that make sense?
And what this tells to me, like my initial reaction to this, is the SEC is going to get 2 teams in. Even if they all lose a game, they're going to get 2 teams in. They are. Because when you look at the construction of Michigan's schedule, and then you line it up against Tennessee's schedule, who played Alabama and at Georgia. Then when you line it up with Alabama's schedule, who played through the SEC and also played at Texas. Then you line it up with Georgia's schedule, that played the SEC schedule, and destroyed the fabric of Oregon earlier in the year. I mean, flat out embarrassed them. That's going to be better than anything Michigan can bring to the table. It just is
at this point.
At this point,
until they go into Ohio State and win.
No, I'm talking about like one loss, one loss scenarios.
That's why it's out.
Yeah, that's why it's out because it didn't shake out the way that they needed it to get 2 teams in.
We didn't expect Tennessee to be this.
No,
this
Tennessee
good.
was the wild card that messed it all up for everybody.
So we can agree on that. So the fact is, the imperativeness of what you've always said: 1 game season. You got to go into Ohio State and do something that doesn't happen.
Right,
but there's still a chance for Michigan to get in with a loss. I mean, because
depending on
if it plays out, but. There still is a chance, right? But if we're doing percentages wise, I'd say it's about less than 5%.
It's not a good chance. Like, say Georgia runs the table, beats Tennessee, beats Alabama in the SEC championship. The Bama's got 2 losses. Say Tennessee loses another game, then that's back on the table. But that's a lot of ifs. You know what I'm saying? My only problem with the ranking,
and you can't forget TCU. Undefeated,
and that's where I was going with it.
Props if it comes down to a 2-loss Alabama team and stuff.
And Clemson, like if Clemson goes undefeated and wins the ACC, you can't keep them out.
Can't keep them out. No, you're right.
Clemson's another one there that controls their own destiny.
I'm telling you guys,
I don't think they're good.
I don't think they're going to win this weekend.
Yeah, I think Michigan's a better team than Clemson for sure. But if Clemson goes undefeated and wins their conference, you can't keep them out of the.
Can Michigan win in Clemson?
Yes.
Could they win in Clemson?
Remember how we always do this, like the conversation about if TCU plays in Michigan would beat them. If Michigan played TCU, they'd probably beat them. My immediate question in my mind is, could Michigan win on the road in Clemson? And I think they could.
I think they could too.
That, it's why it's so more imperative to go and just take care of business.
I'm going to disagree with that. I think if they played in Clemson, Michigan would lose that game. So...
Yeah, I mean,
and maybe if Clemson comes up here, they get their asses kicked.
I always go back to what would the point spread be?
Can't go by that all the time.
No, but it would be roughly even. Point spread would be roughly even.
So my point is, I think they have a better chance winning in Clemson than they do in TCU. That was the whole point, which means that I would consider Michigan.
And that's my problem with it too, where TCU sitting down at 7, 4 ranked wins. They beat the number 8 team in the country. They beat a team on the road that was ranked. Like, TCU's got the resume, man. And you guys can say what you want.
Brother, but it's TCU.
It does. I don't care, Terry. It doesn't matter who it is.
No, dude,
for this guy to stand up there.
Right, but it's TCU.
For Boo Corrigan to stand up there, who is the chair, the NC State athletic director, to say, well, we weigh resumes and we weigh bodies of work and stuff like that. TCU's got as good a resume as anybody. I know it doesn't fit your eye. Like, you don't think of TCU as a power, so that's what they're up against. I understand the why, Terry, but it's not right. It's incorrect.
It is not right. You're right. It's not right, but it's TCU.
Is this the
You don't think
Cincinnati
these guys
conversation?
look at matchups and who they want in that Final Four? Yeah. I mean, they had to put Cincinnati in last year, but they held their nose when they did it.
Right. Is this the same situation? Is TCU this year's Cincinnati if they run it? Because I remember sitting here doing shows going, I don't think they're going to take Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to give them the respect or whatever like this. To Terry's point, they plug their nose and put them in. Is this that we'll have to wait and see?
Yeah, which should have told us, by the way, when Nick Saban's up there saying, hey, we didn't want to try Sauce Gardner. And then you look at him go in the NFL. I mean, they didn't throw any balls to his side of the field in the playoff game. And then he goes in the NFL, and he's going to be Rookie of the Year, man. With all apologies to Sam Flannels, Aiden Hutchinson, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm leaning Sauce Gardner at this point.
Oh, yes.
Has Aiden Hutchinson gained ground on Sauce Gardner or no?
Tell us the odds.
Who's gained more ground, Aiden Hutchinson or JJ McCarthy?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I wasn't here last week. I was about to say that against the Cowboys, I think we can all agree that Aiden Hutchinson did gain some ground. But then he kind of was stuck in neutral last week in the last game against the Miami Dolphins because he did play well against the Cowboys. The defense overall played well, but it's Sauce Gardner's award to lose right now.
Fella, there's this word called consistency.
And
or
Aiden
consistent.
Hutchinson.
That's what you have to be. You can't be good one game and then suck 3 games and then turn it on for another game. It's consistent.
He's been good in 2 and sucked in 6 now or 5 now. That's not good enough.
You want to know what my overriding issue is with this whole playoff committee thing? Is I'm listening to these guys speak to the media, and these people speak to the media. And as you look at the selection committee, they did eliminate the chairman of the power company this year. There is no Southeastern Power Company president on the playoff football selection committee.
You know what? You don't think we get heard down there?
We do.
In NCAA
now, instead,
country.
they've replaced that with former college football reporters. A former college football reporter has a spot on the committee. R.C. Slocum, who's Texas A&M's interim athletic director, who's probably about 1,000 years old. That
sounds like old.
Is on there. But whatever, I digress. When they break down these teams, and they keep referring to points, they score a lot of points. Like, defense is irrelevant. And oh, by the way, Tennessee gets the push over Georgia. You know who's, I believe they're 3rd in the country in points scored per game. You know who that is? Georgia. Like, people, all these metrics that they tell me that they weigh in with Tennessee.
They used it to your point against Michigan in the red zone offense. That's why they were number 4. But when it came to Georgia, no, they expect Georgia to score more points.
Yeah, but they're 2nd or 3rd in the nation. I forget which one it is.
Does that shock you? Their narrative.
That's what bothers me about this.
Terry, what did you just tell him? Young man, you are right. It is not right. But it is just,
right.
It is.
You're right, but you're wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can describe it.
Jack Harrington says, if Bama loses to Georgia, we will be out. That is correct, but I'm telling you what, and I don't know what the odds are. I should look them up. I got a feeling about that Alabama's going to end up in there.
No.
I got a feeling they're going to end up in there.
Really?
Yes.
I think they're going to, I think we're going to see, I think we've seen the levee crack a little bit, and I don't. So you could be right, but I
keep going back to it.
Alabama's the one that's out this year.
I keep going back to it. If Alabama played Clemson, who you betting your mortgage payment on?
Clemson.
Alabama.
Yeah, right now Alabama, especially since in the last game we didn't talk about it. DJ Uiagalelei got pulled.
Yeah,
he's starting to turn back into DJ Uiagalelei of last year.
He's turning back into a pumpkin.
If
Alabama played Michigan, who you betting your mortgage payment on, T-Foss?
Alabama.
I'm going Bama.
What are we doing here?
Because of resume, because of what they've done in the past.
Because of Bryce Young.
Because of Bryce Young.
What we're doing here, they got to go through Georgia.
If every team loses except for the eventual Big Ten champion, so whether that be Michigan or Ohio State, would it be Big Ten champion, Tennessee, Bama, Georgia in the Final Four? If they all finish with one loss.
Clemson
loses
you say
a game.
Clemson lost.
Yeah, Clemson loses a game. TCU loses a game. Georgia, Tennessee, Bama all have one loss. You put those 3 in the Big Ten championship.
No, because Michigan wins is undefeated, then Ohio State gets the rub. But it would be
how about this? Anybody ever think about this?
Nope.
How about Michigan beat Ohio State?
That's what I just said.
And then there's no debate. They're in.
But I think Ohio State with all those one win, if Michigan won, like here's the thing to your question. Michigan wins, Ohio State with one loss has a better chance of getting in with one loss than Michigan does with their one loss.
I agree with that.
Even if Michigan beat Ohio State?
No. Michigan, if Ohio State Michigan's in if they beat Ohio State. But what I'm saying is Ohio State with one loss has a better chance of making the Final Four than Michigan with one loss.
And do you know why?
Strength of schedule.
Resume, strength of schedule.
And they've done it before.
Won a national championship under this system. So, yeah. Don't blame them.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on Alabama. Keep an eye on Alabama. Let me talk about the Sports Marketing Agency. They spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word. They address the stigma about reaching out for and seeking help for mental health issues. If you are struggling, if someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know what you've heard of it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play as well as private lane reservation for $120 if you get thirsty. They got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars fit to choose from. Make sure you come check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster here with you, Sam Flannel. Spenmo Rex here also as we power through. What day is it today? Thursday? Wednesday? Wednesday? All right.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
AW, Dynamite.
T-Foss, by the way.
Yeah.
For the people watching, I got some NCAA soccer to do at 2 o'clock today. So when we end this show, I'll bust out of here, head over to Oakland, and do the Golden Grizzlies.
Staying out your way because I know you're going to knock some folks over to
stay
get
on
over
my
there.
way, too. It's a nice day out there. I'll be heading to the golf course.
Yeah, you buster.
My new PhD's on fire.
Yeah, I know you'll be watching college soccer on your phone.
Absolutely, I'll be listening.
Yeah, I know you guys will. But, hey, we do got to get to hockey. DMac. It's his favorite segment of the week. DMac's hockey questions. It's time for 5 for Fighting.
Right on. I are actually 5 for not being soft. Anyways, number 1, we just saw the Buffalo Sabres defeat the Detroit Red Wings 8-3 with Nedeljkovic in net. Now, question number 1, gentlemen, have you seen enough in net to determine a true number 1 goalie for the Detroit Red Wings moving on?
Not only did I see enough Monday night, I had seen enough Sunday night before, Saturday night before, Friday night before, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, all the way back through. I've seen enough. I have seen enough. So the answer to your question, yes, I've seen enough, and I'll leave it at that. Terry Foster.
Absolutely, rootin' tootin'.
You've seen enough?
I've seen enough.
Are you gonna elaborate on what you guys?
Oh, you'll notice a theme. Go on.
Oh, you will notice the theme. All right. So
you'll
we've
notice
seen enough, and it's time to determine number 1. I do agree with you guys. Who would that be?
We have seen enough.
All right. Now moving forward. Who have you seen enough from that you are you still skeptical on, or are you for sure either good or bad?
Yeah, speaking of seeing enough, I've seen enough of one Alex Nedeljkovic. I've seen enough. I've seen enough of the 8-goal games. I've seen enough of the soft goals. I've seen enough. I've seen enough because you're on the graphic. You're in the playoff picture. Yes, I know, guys. I know it's 8 or 10 games in. I understand that. I know. But these games matter. And he's not playing good enough hockey. That's just the way it is. And I know we're new to games that matter. Like, I know it's new to us right now. And we're just getting used to it, to having a real NHL team around us and everything like that. But this can't continue. It can't. The games are too important. They mean something right now. These games mean something until or unless they don't. But right now they do. And you can't throw games away. When Nedeljkovic starts a game, you're throwing it away, Terry. So yeah, quit. Answer to question number 2. Yeah, I've seen enough. Same answer to question number 1. Yeah, I've seen enough. It cannot continue.
Nedeljkovic has been embarrassing, but I would say for that one game, Buffalo, his team hung him out to dry. They're like, dude, we're tired. We don't feel like playing defense. It's on you. So, but when you look at the whole totality of it, he has not been good enough to be the number 1 goalie here.
So he's the one that you're pretty much done with. And here's the one thing, whether it is that the team plays better in front of Husso or not, to Neal, your point, right? You can't win the division or make the playoffs in October, November, December, but sure as heck you can shoot yourself in the foot and be out of it. So even though we're building, and at the end of the season I hope we're in those games to get there, you have to put yourself in a position to get there. So right now it's apparent that we need wins, and Alex Nedeljkovic isn't the guy to do that.
Well, you need a shot. You need a shot to win, DMac. Like, you got to have a chance to win these games. You have no chance when Alex Nedeljkovic starts the game. You have no chance to win. Look at the data. Look at the data. And you can't give the Florida Panthers an 82-game season and you're playing a 77-game season, because that's what you're doing right now. And again, I know I'm too analytical for some people, or too binary. That is a mathematical fact, because the games that Nedeljkovic starts, you don't have a chance to win. So they may as well not even be on your schedule. And the offense and Dylan Larkin, they busted their ass to get back into that game. And they did. Got it to 4-3. You were in with a shout until you weren't. Until it was over in the blink of an eye, as we saw a couple nights before, et cetera, et cetera. You can't do it. You can't win with the guy. You cannot continue to trot him out there. You can't. I'm sorry.
You got to do it. You got to do it sometimes.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Is he going to play 82 games?
Give me anybody else. Anybody else. If that's what this is about.
What Neal's saying is, well, why can't we do what Vasilevsky does? Why can't you do what Shesterkin does and the Rangers and stuff? They have guys that play 65 games a year.
Yeah.
Why can't we have that if you want to be an elite team? So it's a good question.
Well, no, 65 games is not 82 games.
Right.
I need a different answer. I need a different answer other than Nedeljkovic.
Once a week.
I'm sorry. And I know there's a lot of Nedeljkovic fans in our chat and that watch our show, and I understand that. I get it. But he ain't it. And if you're truly about competing to make the playoffs, this cannot continue.
It ain't about feelings. It ain't about good people. It ain't about you love you like a brother. It's at the end of the day, can you stop the puck and can you win with him in net? And right now the answer is no. Question number 3. Slow starts by free agent signing Andrew Kopp, Mo Seider, Lucas Raymond. Are you concerned at all with any of them? Kopp can be explained because he had no training camp because of the injured, but are you worried at all about a sophomore slump?
No, because I mean it's a cliche for a reason, right? Like, the league has made adjustments to these guys and everything like that. Raymond's game was big, where he bounced back and got the 2 goals and the game winner. They're fine. Like, I'm not worried about those guys. They're fine. Kopp, look, you sign this many free agents, and they're going to be an integral part of what you're doing. They're the foundation of the team. I mean, obviously, you have Raymond and Seider. I get that. Like, those are your base guys. I'm talking about the foundation of you being competitive is your free agent class. There was going to be one miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the laws of math. One of these guys was going to struggle, T-Foss. That's just the way that the math works itself out. Now, he had the conditions you talked about, but when you boil it all down, one of these guys aren't going to work out throughout the history. That's the way it always works.
Haven't given up on Kopp yet.
No, I haven't given up on him.
But Mo Seider, I would be worried about the sophomore slump if Jeff Blashill was still the coach. I'm going to have faith in this coaching staff that they're going to be able to make adjustments. Maybe they'll make a line change. Maybe they'll do some things or talk to him, because I'm going to trust that Steve Yzerman picked a guy that not only can help the Wings win, but can also help a young guy during his struggles get himself right.
All right, let's go a little bit more positive, right? This far into the season, give me something that you're excited and you're happy with when you watch the Wings game. What's the exciting part of this team that you enjoy?
Kubalik, man. Kubalik at $2.5 million a year, Terry. I know you don't care about money and salary cap. That's what I'm talking about. That's what a good GM does. He went and stole him. They stole Dominic Kubalik. I'm most excited. Again, I go back to that game where I went against the Kings, where they fought. They didn't have it. They didn't have the A game. They got a point, and they got a point. Why? Because they had a real NHL power play. Perron, Kubalik. Kubalik to Perron, goal. The light goes on. Everybody cheers. That's the way it works. Yay! We got a goal.
I'm going to take a different tack. I'm excited the Wings are above 500 because we don't see that in this town. Lions, no. Pistons, no. Tigers, hell no. I'm excited to see a team above 500 that shows some fight, shows some spirit, can score a few goals here and there, has some issues to clean up, but that's what I expected.
I like the size. I like having Ben Sherratt back out there murdering guys and stuff like this. But the development, to me, it's watching Michael Rasmussen, and he's coming off.
That's your guy.
He's coming off a game. He took 3 penalties, the probably worst game of the season that he played or whatever. But it's a development and watching those, the 6'9", 6'8", and 6'5" line play together, because I think that as they developed in Soderblom with that third line, it can be such an impactful fact. Number 5, is there any, Terry mentioned this slowly, because we've seen different line combinations on forwards, Adam Ermanni moving up with Raymond and Larkin because of injuries to Bertuzzi and Veron and stuff like that. We haven't seen much movement with defensive pairings. Would you like to see more changes, or is there guys that haven't played together on the forward line or defensive pairings that you'd like to see, or is it pretty much?
I'll leave that to Lalone. I mean, to me that becomes kind of moving around the patio furniture. Like turning the couch sideways against a wall or stuff like that. They're still not there yet as a unit from a personnel perspective.
Right.
And when I say personnel perspective, I mean competent, and a lot like the power play. Pass, goal, score, people cheer. Like as a defensive unit, the personnel, the level of talent isn't there yet. It's just not.
No, I think they should probably split up the number 1 line because of lack of depth on the defensive pairings. So I could see that happening at some point. But other than that,
well, it's always about trying to get guys going, right? And the elephant in the room, the 2 guys. Well, you mentioned Adalkowicz, 3 guys that haven't done anything, and the questions are even out more are Hronek on D and Zadina, your boy Zadina.
Yeah.
So the 3 of them.
He's wearing it in the chat right now.
Trying to get him. What's that?
Zadina's wearing it in the chat right now.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Has the time come to? Is it time to sort of move on and give other guys an opportunity? So, I don't know. That's your 5 for fighting or
love it.
Not being soft. We'll do it again next Wednesday. But you know what you can do right now? You can get to one of the 168 Lady Janes and not only get an award-winning haircut experience, but you can register for once in a lifetime opportunity to win the down payment for your dream house. Yes, how does $200,000, $200K sound? By the way, don't forget your Powerball tickets tonight, $1.2 billion. But in case, get in and register for $200,000 towards your dream home in case you don't win. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
All right, time to talk about Phillips. Not Welsh comedic YouTuber Ben Phillips, but Michael Phillips. Looking to buy or sell your home? Whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest in Michael Phillips is top priority. Being in the game for 23 years makes Mike the #1 option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. That is 313-403-0011.
Can somebody call?
That's my favorite ever. Did you say not Welsh YouTuber? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's like just comedy videos. He's a funny guy.
Oh my God, you are brilliant. Welcome. Great to have you back.
Can somebody please call Michael Phillips' office? Just say, hey, I just heard your commercial on Big D Energy, and for a second I had you confused with Welsh YouTube comedian. Who is it?
Yeah, Welsh comedic YouTuber.
Welsh comedic
What's his
YouTuber.
name? Ben Phillips.
Ben Phillips. I just wanted to make sure.
Seamus Phillips or something like that?
Can somebody do that? Can somebody call them and say, is this... Oh, I was just watching the show on Big D Energy. This is Michael Phillips, right? Not Welsh comedic YouTuber.
He should have gone with the Phillips screwdriver.
Oh, he has. Wilson Phillips, too good.
That was incredible, man. That was absolutely incredible. Somebody please call Michael Phillips and let him know that. That's the kind of company. That's the kind of company he keeps.
I hope everybody gets a good laugh like that today.
WoodwardSports.com chat threads, reaction to the DMac 5 for fighting. And I'm seeing a lot of this, and the comments move too quickly, so I can't attribute it to the right person. I apologize for that. But I keep seeing, actually it was Detroit Dabber, here it is. I think it's pretty clear to see that they play better in front of Ville Husso. Dabber, I don't care. They win games more often when Nedeljkovic plays. And as you said, guys, look, we talked about this, and I know you said when you start takes was saying you're in the playoff picture off the bat, it's going to skew the rest of the takes. It's not concrete that the Wings are there yet. But see, Dabber,
you're not there.
You're not there, but right now you are. You know what I'm saying? Like earlier I said, you're there until you're not. But right now you are there. And I know that we're 10 games in or whatever, but just as quickly as it changes, you are on the outside looking in. Oh, by the way, here come the Tampa Bay Lightning. Remember we were laughing and pointing, they were 1-3 or whatever they were? They're 6-4 now. Here they come. Boston never loses a game ever. They're 9-1. Like, this is what you can't play a 76-game season when everybody else is playing an 82-game season. You can't do it. Nedeljkovic cannot continue in goal. It's too bad. It's too bad. And look, I know people like him, and he's a nice guy, and he does the media interviews and stuff like that. And I know we're new. We're just revving the engines back up. It's been a long time since we've been in the playoffs. I understand that, but it cannot continue. I don't care that they don't play well defensive. Find a way. Compete. Don't give up 8 goals. Start there.
Well, you'll have the luxury as long as Husso and they play better, we can see in front of Husso. But as long as Husso doesn't get hurt, you don't have to. You want Ned to He's an NHL goalie. You want him to find his stuff. He doesn't have it right now. At some point in an 82-game season, you're going to need him. Whether you have a guy that carries the load with 60, 65 games or not, you need your backup like other teams. Look at what the Red Wings have faced, right? They go into Boston. Boston's 6-1. They play their backup in Swayman, and they beat us. You face a Comrie kid the other day in goal in Buffalo who was in your system that beats you. Other teams are beating you with their backups. I don't care how it gets done. It's got to get done. You don't have the luxury of not getting points right now. And anytime you put anybody out there that's not right, talking about this is like talking about the Hironics and the Zadinas and stuff like this to stay in the playoff picture because you're in the East. Look at the games you have. Tomorrow you play Washington, who is right there with you in points. Then you play the Islanders. It doesn't get any easier. So you can't shoot yourself in the foot by trying to let guys play themselves out of it, right? We had the luxury back in the day if guys weren't going or guys were off injury. We were good enough and our playoff position was already foreseen that we could let guys sort of get back into it. This team doesn't have that luxury. They need all hands on deck.
Aren't you supposed to be a professional and play good defense in front of whomever is in goal? That's what I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's a team effort. It's not just him, but the fact that what Neal says, it doesn't matter. This is irrelevant right now, the fact that they don't. Because they don't have the luxury of going, okay, why is it? Why does it happen? No, they're implementing this 1-1-3. Obviously, like I said, they're going to show flashes of brilliance when it works. And then they're going to show flashes of garbage like they did the other night in the defensive game. But you need that guy because every other team has that last line of defense.
Yeah, and Dabber says, Neal, but you can't ignore the blatant gap in play. Husso won't be in the net 100% of the time. You need consistent defense regardless of the goalie. And yes, I agree with that, but didn't we just get done talking in the Five for Fighting about the talent level of the defensive core ain't there yet? And I say ain't for effect. It's not. So if anything, it's on these goalies, man. It is. You got to rise up. That's the equivalent of what I make a play. Somebody make a play. You can't account for everything in binary statistical terms all the time. Somebody's got to rise up. I don't care that you're an underdog. I don't care that you're on the road. Somebody rise up and do something. Nedeljkovic ain't getting the job. Guys, I'm sorry. I know it hurts to hear.
Here's the whole thing of why this year you hopefully will be that team that plays the last few games of the season to get in the playoffs is because you're in consistency. Because what we've seen so far in a small sample size of this season, right, is until they show us consistency, right, on a nightly basis, no matter who they drudge out there, they're not ready for that next level.
Yeah,
they're not ready for that next step.
In the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Terry, Jack Harrington, who's a New York sports fan, says, hey, can you guys leave Ned in goal on Saturday afternoon? Go Islanders. But see, that's the attitude, though.
Right. Whether it's him or whether it's the defense, he knows the Islanders are going to get a big victory.
And let me address this right here, because I know this right from the horse's mouth and Derek Lalonde, right? Don't go by the shots on goal, because they don't care about how many shots are being let in.
They care about where they come from.
The quality and the quantity, right? Where you see that 46 shots, and I know, and I don't know what the number is, but probably because of the 8 goals the other night, there was probably 12, 14, 15 like grade A scoring chances, which is ridiculous, which is more of a misnomer. But in the system that Detroit plays, they're going to allow a lot of outside shots. Now, the object is to get in front of them and block them and stuff like this, but they're not worried about letting the non-dangerous goalie see the puck. The most frustrating thing is you could say that they play better in front of Husso or whatever, but I've seen 2 goals go right over his glove that weren't in the top shelf.
Egregious goals.
Right? So say what you want, but just call it like you see it. It's not good enough.
Thank you for that, DMac, by the way.
They were flutterers.
That's absolutely what it was. And Mike also says, rule breaker, don't blame the goaltending. Ned doesn't skate out. Team defense starts with your forwards. Mike, I've seen enough of the knuckleball soft goals. More than enough. More than enough. I would put Nedeljkovic's efforts right now on par with Hockenson. Mid.
Go watch the replays
Ned's even
of
less
how many
than
first
mid.
shots he lets in. right? That's the difference. I'll stick up for Jimmy Howard here. At least in his last year, he faced 7 shots before it went in the net. 6 rebounds. He's not even getting the rebound. He's not seeing the puck. He's not playing with confidence. So for whatever reason, you don't have the luxury of having him figure it out while the game's going on.
I remember having conversations with a young Chris Osgood when he was young, and his mentality is he should never give up a goal except on a rebound. But he shouldn't allow any rebounds. That was his mentality.
Right. Stop drooling. WoodwardSports.com chat thread real quick. This echoes my sentiments. Yeah, but they're winning games with Husso and net, and that's the bottom line.
2-4.
Yeah. And that's the final word.
You got it. Nicely done.
Perfectly said, my friend. Perfectly said. Cintron's the official energy drink of the Red Wings. They've combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition Red Wings themed 6-pack sampler box. Okay. Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry classic and sugar-free all in one Red Wings themed package. Go to cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Order your 6-pack sampler box today. Better double up. They're 2 for $4 at Kroger as well. Get energized with Cintron and let's go Red Wings.
Wait.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle, baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers. Get your customized approach to weight loss. Think of all the ways that weight affects your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Custom Health Centers is blessed to have over 20,000 success stories. It's been their honor to help many professional athletes lose weight and improve their health. People like former Detroit Lion, former Pro Bowl MVP Eddie Murray, and Detroit Piston bad boy Rick Mulhorn. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health. 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-THIN. It's Custom Health Centers. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, DMac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Honolulu Blue Sparty. Neal just jumped on. Still feel good about the Hawk trade. Pundits think we got fleeced. I'm torn. Yeah, because I'll take not paying Logan Thomas or Eric Ebron $13 million a year, getting them off my books, because that's who they traded. I would say to this, Honolulu Blue Sparty, go back to the 11-14 mark of the show, and you'll get the fill. I had some strong thoughts about it, so I'd advise you to go back and watch
I would encourage everybody, if you want to see the rule breaker, Neal the Heel Ruhl, give it, I'm done.
Yep.
And a lean back, sit back.
Lean back.
Very rarely to get that, but today on Big D Energy, it's all yours.
Maybe that should be your nickname, the Rule
Real
Breaker.
tight ends don't dance, they just pull up the pants.
Yeah, exactly. Francis Garcia, Fab Five, making the Final Four 2 years in a row. Detroit was there. Well, Francis, I was told they weren't there.
No, that's right.
Those banners came down. So did it happen?
They'll be back up.
I would have never taken those things down.
There is someone running for regent who wants the Fab Five back in Chrysler.
Oh, he's going to use it as a political ploy, huh?
Yeah.
Smart.
I'll tell you what, that Michigan-Louisville game, I was on a cruise during that stretch of we watched who they played Syracuse before that with Michael Carter-Williams, and then they played Louisville. And that block by Trey Burke was one of the best blocks I've ever seen in a live game. And I couldn't believe they called the foul on it. I still believe that Michigan would have won that game because the way Trey Burke was playing, he would have made that block.
He was on one.
Got the ball, walked down the court, hit a 35-foot three-pointer, and they would have been up. Because his shot against Kansas and then what he did to Syracuse, dude was the best player at the tournament that year.
Yep, he was on one. It was still the right call to take KCP over him in the draft, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
People went nuts on that one.
They did go nuts on it,
yeah.
but they were right on that one. But hey, whatever, it didn't make a difference. But yeah, I would have never taken those banners. I got a funny story for you guys. So Memphis, right, when they got their Final Four vacated, from the John Calipari era, they took the banner out of the arena, but they put it up in the practice facility. We went down there to play them. They had that banner up. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought they vacated that or whatever. They're like, no, we were there. We still went there. And I was like, okay.
You can never erase those memories.
No.
It happened. It wasn't fake.
I thought that was dumb that Michigan took those Final Four banners down. But, whatever. World Series, DMac. You've been tapped in. WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Have you watched any of the World Series, yes or no? DMac's there, though. You're a baseball dork.
Absolutely. And you know what? Going into the finals, obviously, if you watch what Bryce Harper's doing with the Phillies, leading them there, the Phillies who just squeaked into the playoffs and are the Cinderella stories facing, the bad guys in the Houston Astros and sort of the old cheaters and stuff. And as we were talking about before the series, it was like, well, Philly can't match up with the pitching of the Astros. Well, it's karma and a rain delay and getting rained out on a Monday puts that sort of back even. So back in Philly yesterday, first inning, Bryce Harper did it again. I mean, dude, it must have been like what it was like watching Babe Ruth, and they got something going in Philly. And that crowd, and you know what it reminds me? It reminds me of our 97, 98 playoff runs and Joe Louis Arena. Is you would use that to your home field advantage and the noise and all that stuff like that. So, Phillies are hitting the long ball yesterday. One of the things, did you see, and I mentioned this to you before that I didn't realize this, but in Major League Baseball this year they implemented these electronic devices from the catcher to take the pitches to the pitcher so that he doesn't have to give signs, and then the two of the infielders have whatever the pitch is going to be too, so they know. And they were talking about how loud it was in Philly, that the infielders were saying, well, usually during a regular season game I got it 11 or 12, the playoffs I got to have it at 20. But that just brought up a question to me. Well, if it's electronics and stuff like that, doesn't that mean there's a signal and somebody could steal that? So aren't we does anybody else? I was wondering out there, anybody else thought that? But Philly's up 2-0, living on the long ball, living at home, and I mean, right now they're feeling it. So
it's wild.
I saw Justin Verlander flipping off Phillies fans at the airport and on the bus. So he's not happy, but he's consistent and maybe
try pitching better.
What?
Try pitching better. Try winning a World Series game. Try not being the worst pitcher in the history of the World Series.
The way this series got played out and the fact that Phillies are up 2-1.
It's just T-Foss, the Phillies are on one, right? I don't think they're the better team, but the better team doesn't matter. That stadium is a madhouse. It's incredible. That city is on a run right now.
They're undefeated at home.
Yeah. It's just, I don't think that over 162 games, Philadelphia is a better team, but that doesn't matter, Terry, because that place is going crazy, man.
Wow, 71% says they haven't watched the World Series.
Have you watched a World Series, Terry?
I have not. I was going to watch Monday.
Got rained out.
Sit down.
I would have watched it.
I was in the man's room, and they said rain out.
Is it the man's room or the men's room?
It's the man's room.
The man's room. Usually say the man cave.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just, for me, they're on a heater right now. They got that feel, they got that look that they're gonna run into one. It's just I sit there and watch these games, and I don't worry about the Justin Verlander thing, and I don't worry about the Nick Castellanos thing. I just wonder and hope that one day we could get a good GM like Dave Dombrowski, who's going to win yet another World Series.
Oh, there it is.
And if only we could get the commitment from ownership.
Why can't it happen
to get a good GM like a Dave Dombrowski, a proven winner, who, just he operates a certain way, and an owner goes to him and says, hey, come here, I'll let you operate the way you operate because you've given proven results, and yet again, you're going to take yet another franchise to the World Series and win the World Series yet again.
But you had a combo here. You had Dave Dombrowski, and you had an owner who finally woke up and decided, if I spend money and let this man do his job, we will win. So it was the owner and the GM or president or whatever he was that led the Tigers to 2 World Series, which they did not win either one.
But he put the team together and put them in a position in the World Series at some point.
And you know why they didn't win the first one?
I know one of the reasons.
Why?
Because they had the worst pitcher in World Series history out there.
And they had to practice at Ford Field.
They did, and it got in their bones.
Yep.
Oh. People forget that.
Mm-hmm.
The weather was so bad they had to practice at Ford Field.
Because they had a long layoff, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won the first series too early. They didn't have like 9 days off or something like that.
Yep.
Something crazy. And then the fielding by the pitchers was atrocious. That's what I remember.
It was worse than that.
What's that?
It was worse than that.
I know. It was awful. Spring training.
All you had to do was bunt against them, and you could beat them.
Thanks for bringing back great memories.
Yeah, because they had Miguel Cabrera at third base and Prince Fielder at first base.
But, hey, if only we could get a
Those
GM.
were the days, boys.
It was the pitchers who were screwing up. It wasn't even Cabrera and Prince.
That's when the Detroit Tigers felt the most like Guardian Alarm.
They were protected.
They were absolutely protected at the corners, everywhere else. Guardian Alarm right now is the perfect time to make sure you have peace of mind and home and business security no matter where you go. From Guardian Alarm, the most trusted name in home and business security, 24/7 monitoring, give you peace of mind knowing you're backed by the best in the business. So you want to be part of the Big D Energy Woodward Sports family? You can be, but I need you to call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
How many straight days?
151.
151 straight days. Proof of flannel in the booth. There it is. Give them a call, 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
That's Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them, Big D Energy, we sent you.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Woodward front row, that's right. Win tickets to the front row between the Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers this Sunday at Ford Field. What do you have to do? You got to record a video, man, doing your best Dan Campbell impression, man. You post it on IG or Twitter with the hashtag Woodward front row, and I swear we are going to be drawing 3 sets of tickets. 6 winners in total. Yes, 3 times 2 is 6. I wonder if the coach could have got in that one. So anyways, we'll select them on Friday. Yes, 2 days away. So get in your Dan Campbell impersonations today, man. I swear to you, we're going to draw this.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, DMac, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. Here's a good one, Terry. And I think that this is the most slept-on Detroit sports athlete of all time. Checks every box. Nationally, yes.
Okay.
Isaiah Thomas is nationally.
I said Cleat Thomas.
Oh, Cleat Thomas. Nationally, yes. I sat next to Cleat Thomas's dad one time at a Tiger game.
Cleat Thomas, I swear he had more walk-off hits than anything else.
Here's one, though, Terry, and I echo this sentiment 1,000%. Jeremy Anderson, Mickey Lolich, my favorite Tiger player ever.
Could be most clutch.
Yeah,
won 3 World Series games, beat Bob Gibson down.
Right, but he played in the shadow of Denny McClain. He was a guy that would win 17, 18 games, not 31.
Doesn't matter.
And he was fat.
Game 7 of the World Series against Bob Gibson, everything on the line. He dominated.
I agree.
Dominated.
I am telling you why he was probably slept on a little bit.
I want to say second or third most strikeouts ever for a left-handed pitcher. Totally slept on across the board. Totally slept on.
I think he retired first, but slipped at the second or third.
Yeah. So, Mickey Lolich did everything that we say we want in this city, man.
Right.
Balled out in the World Series.
Was.
I would put Mickey Lolich, and this is for me, and Sam Flannel's going to erupt, and so is Spencer Raxter. But when you go through the annals of Tigers pitchers, Mickey Lolich above Justin Verlander for me because of that, because he cashed it in, and it was single-handedly all on him.
I'm not going to fight you on that one.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Sam Flannel.
I'm actually not going to fight you on that. As Tigers, Justin Verlander has actually become a better pitcher as an Astro, even in his peak.
He's gotten worse in the World Series, though.
And I'll be honest,
he's become the worst ever.
I will be honest. During that game, when the Houston Astros were up 5-0 and Kyle Tucker had hit a couple of moonshots, I'm like, this is Justin Verlander's chance to right all of the wrongs, to just pitch a decent game, maybe 6 innings, 2 runs.
Just get a complete start in there, right?
But he blew the entire lead again. And now that's probably going to be the number. I think the Houston Astros are done and demoralized because they had a chance to go up 1-0 and then 2-0, and then Justin Verlander, because of his poor pitching, because of his choking dogness, I know that's not a word, they lost.
It is now.
It is, but it's exactly what he did.
Word when you say it.
It's exactly what he did. I don't take any pleasure in it. I want the Astros to win the World Series. I wanted Justin Verlander to kind of exercise some demons, but he actually might have had the most egregious start of them all. He blew a golden opportunity, but that's what he does in the World Series. That's what the numbers say.
Yeah. So you gonna get a Detroit Astro shirt?
Oh God, no. I want the Astros. I don't know. There's something about him. I don't hate him as much as everybody else. I think they've gotten a little bit too much flack.
DMac, does this bring a tear to your eye? Spencer closed out the WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Have you been watching the World Series? 78% of the people say no. And the environment's wild. It's got everything you can ask for.
I think that's the most telling thing to how dead baseball is for a fan. And the only reason I could care less about the Astros, the only reason is Phillies and Bryce Harper and sort of watching him through his whole career and stuff like that. Obviously, Castellanos, who is here, former Tiger and stuff. I like that Phillies team being scrappy, so I love like the Philly, the atmosphere and stuff like this. So baseball is my first love. So I'll tell you this, Neal. I used to always dial in. I could watch games even back 7-8 years ago when the Tigers were good from front to back and not turn it off. Flipping.
Is it even on network TV? I can't find it.
Fox. It's on Fox, man.
Yeah.
Did you see that new chat poll?
Not all the time.
I did.
Yeah.
And you know what? Great point made. Babe Ruth had the slow shoes. DK might have been, Donnie Kelly might have been a better all-around player.
Spencer put it up there on the WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Who's a better player overall, Don Kelly or Babe Ruth? So
Don Kelly played every single position on the field.
He certainly did.
So did Shane Halter.
Yeah. No, but DMac, and I know you're a baseball slappy. You're the last person I know that still watches Sunday Night Baseball religiously.
Well, Maz doesn't count.
Maz doesn't count.
Is even slappier than I am.
And I do enjoy Sunday Night Baseball. I do, but it doesn't fit in the calendar. It does in the summer, like maybe in July.
It's not appointment viewing.
No, it used to be.
As you watch, like last night, I was more interested in watching the opener to NXT, right? The wrestling, the WWE development, as I had, flipping it back and forth, pitcher and pitcher or whatever like this with the ball game. But I think the poll right there, the 70, almost 80% of people not dialing in, why would they? And it bleeds down to how bad our teams suck. So why are we going to care about anybody else's?
That is true, man. Bryce Harper, though, props to him. Like, he was
Bryce Harper's the man.
The chosen one at like 16 and all that kind of stuff.
He's dialed in. Just if you get a chance, please, and this will be because I'll ask, just flip it on for a few seconds when they're talking to him or you're seeing the look in that man's eyes. He is dialed in, and he's going to will his team to this championship.
You know it when you see it, no doubt. T-Foss?
Schwarber, too. Schwarber,
yeah, absolutely.
He can hit the skin off the ball, man.
Hitting leadoff.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Walks at leadoff, too, to open the game.
Phillies don't care. I like the way that they do it non-conventional, where they have Schwarber hitting leadoff.
And they signed
Schwarber ever hit a home run less than 400 feet?
No, they're all absolute bombs, every single one of them. Gentlemen, good show today out of all of you. Tomorrow, tomorrow, Josh Parisian, UFC heavyweight, big fight on ESPN this weekend, ESPN Fight Night.
What we do, we just get guys the bag. You out there to beat guys up.
Great dude, too. Right. I would highly encourage you to check out that conversation. So, for DMac, for T-Foss, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks for tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Deuces.
Well, see you later.